This has been really interesting because we've had so many women to look at. And in previous elections, we've had one woman candidate, and so that we can't really make big generalizations. This time around, you've seen the women candidates, I think, really demonstrate how you can combat the double bind by showing that they're qualified but also likable. And that likability element is something that women have to overcome to be seen as viable. So Elizabeth Warren and Kamala Harris, both in their stump speeches as well as their advertising, did a lot to talk about who they were. So they talked about their upbringing, they talked about being a kid and their parents, and they talked about kind of what their values are as people. So trying to make them relatable, trying to make them likable, and kind of humanizing them. At the same time, in those same speeches and ads, talking about what they've accomplished. So those kind of resume bullets of what I got done when I was in the Senate, or what I got done when I was creating the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, those accomplishments are coupled with that. The male candidates, on the other hand, are often able to just do those resume bullet points and talk about issues. So Bernie Sanders is a good example. He's got the same message, whether it's a speech, whether it's an ad. He's going to be ticking off those main issues and kind of his ideology, but not a lot of personal story. I don't think many people would say they know who Bernie Sanders is. Like, I feel like I know him. No, but that's something that the women candidates have had to do. I think another place that you see some of this too is in the policy proposals that they roll out. So obviously Elizabeth Warren is the candidate with a plan, right? So she's got a plan for everything, and that's unique because a lot of times in presidential races, the advice, especially in a primary, is to not get too in the weeds with policy proposals because it opens you up to attack, both from your own party and if you become the nominee. But to show you're qualified, you've got to show, as a woman, you have that higher bar of why I'm the person to do it. And Warren's, laid out all these plans to do that, which has opened her up to criticism as well because she's put those plans out there. But you don't see the same standard being set to some of the male candidates. Pete Buttigieg has done a good job attacking Warren's Medicare for All plan, but he doesn't really have many plans of his own. And so that kind of double standard we see still exists, both in how the candidates are campaigning, how the media is covering them, is some variation. And I think that's something, Kamala Harris, I was a little surprised to see her drop out as early as she did because she, has a lot of the qualifications, but people said they didn't know what she stood for. They didn't know what her positions were, and she wasn't likable or relatable enough. And I think that that's something that's kind of unique to what women candidates still face when running for the presidency or any office.